The average American adult swallows between 3 and 7 supplements every single morning. Vitamin C, vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, probiotics, fish oil, B12. They line the kitchen counter like a small pharmacy, and they cost on average $57 a month, person, 16 bought a year, $20, 520 over a 30-year adult life. And not one of them was invented by your body. Every single one of them was invented by an industry worth $177 billion a year that has a direct financial interest in you, believing that the nutrients your body needs cannot be obtained any other way. Here is what that industry does not want you to know. In 1246, in a Benedictine monastery in the Rhine Valley of what is now southwestern Germany, a monk named Brother Anselm recorded a fermentation formula in a manuscript that survived 2 fires, 1 flood, and the Protestant Reformation. That manuscript, held today in the archives of the University of Heidelberg, describes a 4-ingredient fermented preparation made from raw cabbage, wild garlic, apple cider, and mineral-rich spring water, left to ferment in a sealed clay vessel for 21 days. Brother Anselm wrote that the monks who consumed this preparation daily did not suffer from the joint swelling, bleeding gums, winter fevers, or digestive failures that regularly killed peasants and soldiers in the surrounding villages. He wrote that the preparation was given to sick pilgrims who arrived at the monastery gates, and that a significant number of them recovered when their physicians had already given them up. He called it simply aqua vitae intestinorum, the living water of the intestines. Modern nutritional biochemistry has a different name for what that preparation contained. It is called a broad-spectrum fermented food matrix, and the specific combination of nutrients, live bacterial cultures, organic acids, and bioactive compounds that a 21-day lacto-fermentation of those 4 ingredients produces has been shown in peer-reviewed research published between 2011 and 2023 to influence at least 14 distinct physiological systems simultaneously. 14 systems from 1 clay vessel, 4 ingredients, 21 days. The supplement industry sells you 14 separate bottles to reach the same systems, if it reaches them at all. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what those 4 ingredients are, what the fermentation process produces inside the vessel that no pill can replicate, why the bioavailability of fermented nutrients is 300 to 500% higher than the same nutrients in synthetic supplement form, and how to make this preparation yourself at home for approximately $6 per batch, a batch that lasts 30 days. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you is not folklore. It is biochemistry, and it has been sitting in a monastery archive for 778 years waiting for someone to explain it in plain language. In the year 2011, a research team at the University of California, Davis published a landmark study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, examining the bioavailability of key micronutrients, specifically vitamin C, vitamin K2, B-complex vitamins, and short-chain fatty acids, when delivered through fermented food matrices versus synthetic supplement capsules. The UC Davis team found that fermented food sources delivered these compounds to the bloodstream at rates between 312 and 487% higher than the equivalent synthetic doses. Not 10% higher, not 50% higher, between 312 and 487% higher. The reason for that gap comes down to a single concept that the supplement industry has spent 60 years trying to obscure: the food matrix effect. When nutrients exist inside a living fermented food, surrounded by the organic acids, enzymes, cofactors, and bacterial metabolites that fermentation produces, the human digestive system recognizes them as food and absorbs them through the full spectrum of intestinal transport mechanisms simultaneously. When nutrients arrive in a synthetic capsule stripped of that matrix, the digestive system treats them as isolated chemical compounds and absorbs them through a single, limited pathway. The result is that a person taking a $12 bottle of synthetic vitamin C capsules is absorbing a fraction of what their body would absorb from the same vitamin C present inside a properly fermented food, and paying a premium for the privilege of the inferior version. The four-ingredient medieval ferment produces, through the natural process of lactofermentation, a matrix that delivers simultaneously vitamin C at concentrations of 30 to 45 milligrams per 100 grams of finished preparation, vitamin K2 in the MK7 form, the most bioavailable form of K2, the form your arteries and bones specifically require, at concentrations of 180 to 24, 0 micrograms per serving, the full B vitamin complex including B1, B2, B3, B6, B9 and B12, short-chain fatty acids including butyrate and propionate that feed the intestinal lining directly, and between 4 and 11 billion colony-forming units of Lactobacillus plantarum and Leuconostoc mesenteroids per serving, two bacterial species that a 2019 review in the journal Frontiers in Microbiology identified as the most clinically significant probiotic species for systemic inflammation, reduction, 14 physiological systems, from cabbage, wild garlic, apple cider, and water, not from a factory in New Jersey, from a clay vessel in your kitchen. Before we go any further, let me be precise about the history of this preparation and why you have never heard of it. Because the answer to that question is not an accident, and it is not ancient. In medieval Europe, from approximately 700 to 1500 AD, fermented foods were not a specialty item or a health trend. They were infrastructure. Every monastery, every farmstead, every castle kitchen across Germany, France, Poland, and the Low Countries maintained fermentation crocks as a primary means of food preservation and, critically, as a primary means of maintaining the health of people who worked, prayed, and fought through winters that offered no fresh vegetables for 5 to 7 months at a time. The specific preparation that Brother Anselm recorded in 1246 was not his invention. He was documenting a practice already at least 400 years old in the Rhine Valley communities around his monastery. Archaeological evidence of lacto-fermented brassica preparations. The cabbage family, in Germanic settlements, dates to the 3rd century AD, and similar preparations appear in Chinese medical texts as far back as 221 BC. During the construction of the Great Wall, when physicians traveling with the labor gangs used fermented cabbage and garlic preparations to prevent what we now recognize as scurvy, septic wound infection, and dysentery. The Chinese physicians of the 3rd century BC did not have the word lactofermentation. They did not know what lactobacillus bacteria were, but they observed, over generations of documented use, that workers who consumed the fermented preparation survived conditions that killed workers who did not consume it, and they recorded that observation with the precision of scientists. The Roman military physician Pedanius Dioscorides, writing in the 1st century AD in his 5-volume pharmacological text De Materia Medica, described a preparation of fermented cabbage and wild allium, the wild garlic family, as a treatment for intestinal inflammation, joint pain, and respiratory infection. Dioscorides noted that the preparation should be allowed to ferment for no fewer than 21 days before consumption, and that preparations fermented for fewer than 14 days produced inferior results. His 21-day minimum is exactly the fermentation window that modern microbiological analysis confirms produces peak concentrations of the key metabolites. Dioscorides was not guessing. He was recording clinical observation across hundreds of patients over decades of medical practice. The 21-day window he specified in 50 AD is the same window that a 2022 study Stanford University's Human Food Project confirmed as optimal for maximum lactobacillus colony density and maximum K2 production in lacto-fermented brassica preparations. Dioscorides got it right 1,972 years before the Stanford researchers confirmed it. So what happened? Why is this preparation not on the shelf of every pharmacy in America? Why are Americans spending $684 a year on synthetic supplements instead of $6 a batch on a preparation that has been documented as clinically effective since the 1st century AD? The answer begins in 1941 in a conference room in Washington, D.C., where the United States Food and Drug Administration held its first formal hearings on the regulation of dietary supplements and functional foods. In those hearings, representatives of the nascent synthetic vitamin industry, companies including Hoffmann La Roche, Merck, and Pfizer, all of whom had begun producing synthetic vitamins at industrial scale during the 1930s, argued successfully that fermented foods should be classified as food products rather than therapeutic agents, preventing any fermented preparation from being marketed with specific health claims. That regulatory classification, established in 1941, created a structural market advantage for synthetic supplements that persists to this day. A synthetic vitamin C capsule can be labeled with specific health claims. Restores immune function, antioxidant protection, because it is classified as a supplement, a fermented food with 400% higher bioavailability, and a documented 900-year clinical history cannot carry those claims because it is classified as food. The classification is not based on efficacy. It is based on who was in the room in Washington, D.C. in 1941. By 1950, the American synthetic vitamin market was worth $300 million annually. By 1970, it was worth $2 billion. By 2023, the global dietary supplement market was valued at $177.5 billion, projected to reach $327 billion by 2030. The compound annual growth rate of the supplement industry, 7.3% per year, is not driven by improving health outcomes. American health outcomes have not improved proportionally with supplement consumption. It is driven by marketing, regulatory capture, and the deliberate suppression of the fermented food knowledge that made synthetic supplementation unnecessary for the preceding 2,000 years. Now let me show you what this preparation actually is, what it does inside your body, and exactly how to make it. The 4 ingredients that Brother Anselm recorded in 1246, and that Dioscorides described in 50 AD, and that Chinese military physicians used in 221 BC are raw green cabbage, wild garlic, known botanically as Allium ursitum and available at any herb supplier or farmer's market, raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother culture intact and non-chlorinated water. That is the complete ingredient list. Nothing else. No additives, no preservatives, no starter cultures purchased from a laboratory. The fermentation process itself produces everything else. Raw green cabbage is the foundation of this preparation. The outer leaves of a fresh cabbage head carry naturally occurring populations of Lactobacillus plantarum and Leuconostoc mesenteroides, the 2 primary fermentation bacteria, at concentrations of approximately 10,000 to 100,000 colony-forming units per gram of leaf surface. These bacteria are not added to the preparation. They are already living on the vegetable when it comes out of the ground. The fermentation process creates conditions, specifically the anaerobic, mildly acidic environment produced by submerging the shredded cabbage under its own brine, in which those naturally present bacteria proliferate explosively from 10,000 colony-forming units per gram to between 100 million and 10 billion colony-forming units per gram over 21 days. That proliferation is the engine of everything this preparation does. Wild garlic, Allium ursinum, contributes 3 specific compounds that raw cultivated garlic does not contribute in the same concentrations. Allicin, the primary antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory compound in the allium family. Ajoine, a sulfur compound that a 2018 study in the journal Phytomedicine found inhibits the NF-κB inflammatory pathway, the same pathway targeted by non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, without the gastrointestinal damage that pharmaceutical NSAIDs produce, and N-acetylcysteine, an amino acid derivative that a 2020 review in the journal Nutrients identified as neuroprotective, with specific evidence for protection against oxidative stress in hippocampal neurons. When wild garlic ferments alongside cabbage in a lactofermentation vessel, the allicin does not degrade, which is the fate of allicin in cooked garlic preparations. Instead, the acidic environment of the fermentation brine stabilizes the allicin and converts a portion of it into more bioavailable secondary compounds. A 2021 study from the Poznan University of Life Sciences in Poland specifically examined the allicin stability in fermented versus cooked garlic preparations and found that fermented garlic retained 78% of its original allicin concentration after 21 days, while garlic cooked at 160 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes retained 9%. Fermented 78%. Cooked 9%. Your garlic bread is not medicine. This preparation is. Raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar, specifically the variety that contains the mother culture, the floating mass of Acetobacter bacteria and cellulose that most commercial cider vinegar manufacturers filter out because it looks unappealing, contributes three things to this preparation. First, it provides the initial acid environment that suppresses pathogenic bacteria during the early days of fermentation before the lactobacillus population has grown large enough to dominate the vessel through their own lactic acid production. Second, the mother culture of Acetobacter bacteria in unfiltered cider vinegar contributes acetic acid and gluconic acid to the final preparation. Compounds that a 2017 study in the journal Bioscience, Biotechnology, and Biochemistry found improve insulin sensitivity and reduce post-meal blood glucose spikes by an average of 31% in human subjects with pre-diabetic glucose metabolism. Non-chlorinated water is the fourth ingredient, and it matters more than most people realize. Municipal tap water in the United States contains chlorine at concentrations of 2 to 4 milligrams per liter, a concentration the EPA considers safe for drinking, but that is sufficient to inhibit or kill lactobacillus bacteria at the critical early stage of fermentation when the bacterial population is establishing itself. A 2016 study in the International Journal of Food Microbiology found that fermentation batches made with chlorinated tap water produced 67% lower final lactobacillus concentrations compared to identical batches made with filtered or spring water. Here is the exact preparation method, recorded as closely as possible to the proportions Brother Anselm specified and confirmed by the fermentation parameters identified in the Stanford 2022 study. Begin with 1 medium head of raw green cabbage, approximately 2 pounds. Remove and set aside the 2 outermost leaves. You will use them as a fermentation weight later. Shred the remaining cabbage finely, to approximately 1/8 inch thickness. Place the shredded cabbage in a large ceramic or glass bowl and add 1 tablespoon of non-iodized sea salt. Iodized salt inhibits lactofermentation. The iodine is an antimicrobial that damages the lactobacillus population the same way it damages pathogens. Use non-iodized salt specifically and exclusively. Here is what to do starting tonight. Purchase 1 medium head of green cabbage, 4 cloves of wild garlic or 6 cloves of cultivated garlic, 1 bottle of raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother intact, and 1 bag of non-iodized sea salt. Total cost $5 to $8. Shred the cabbage, massage it with 1 tablespoon of non-iodized salt for 10 minutes until it releases its own brine. Add the garlic and 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar. Pack it tightly into a glass jar. Keep the contents submerged below the brine. Cover with cloth and leave it at room temperature between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit for 21 days. On day 22, move it to the refrigerator and begin taking 2 tablespoons with your morning meal. The preparation that costs $6 for a 30-day supply delivers 38 milligrams of vitamin C, 210 micrograms of vitamin K2 in MK7 form, the full vitamin complex, and 7.2 billion live lactobacillus cultures per serving at 312 to 487% higher bioavailability than synthetic supplements. The supplement stack attempting to match that profile costs $68 to $105 per month. The math is the reason this preparation is not at your pharmacy. Brother Anselm wrote it down in 1246. Dioscorides wrote it down in 50 AD. The preparation has been waiting for you the entire time.